Hey everyone, this is Meyer, and in this video what I want to do is show you how easy and simple it is to add and chop up percussion loops here in FL Studio. I think FL Studio has the best workflow for this. It's better than all the other digital audio workstations. While you can, I guess, use other VSTs for this and other DAWs, I think FL is just the most streamlined way. So that's what we're going to do. For this project, I'm going to be adding a percussion loop to this drop section, and you can get this template here in FL Studio along with the masterclass where I build this track up from scratch over on Ready for Masterclass. We'll have a link there in the description, but this is going to be the section we're adding this loop to. So in this section, I think it could use another driving loop to kind of maybe add some of the low mids. That's what I'm trying to fill in. So the first thing I'm going to do is just insert a new track here in the playlist, and I'm going to create a new pattern. And I find it's good to add the pattern first because when you do this, it's going to add the MIDI to the pattern that you create. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to just go ahead and give it a color. Maybe I'll make this kind of orange, and I'm just going to plop it here. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and open up the browser, and I'm going to try to find a percussion loop that I think is going to work well with this track. And it doesn't matter if it's at the same tempo or not, although it's generally better if it's close, and it's better if it's actually slower, because speeding it up isn't as bad as slowing it down. But this method will do well, and it's a lot better than time stretching. All right, I like this one. So what I'm gonna do, all you need to do is just right click on it and click on open a new Splicex channel. What it's going to do is it should automatically try to slice it up. If it doesn't do this, you can click on this auto slicing page. Sometimes you can do sharp if it's not tagging enough stuff, or you can of course add markers yourself. For instance, this looks like it should be another hit here. So what we can do is just go ahead, do this and plop in a new marker like this. So the point here is you want to basically tag each of the percussion hits, because what we're basically going to be doing is creating a drum kit out of this loop, and we can rearrange and remix this loop however we like. So I'm just going to go ahead and add these. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm just kind of looking here at these particular points. The last thing I want to do before I do this is I'm noticing that the tempo is wrong here. Because this loop is a little bit longer, it thinks it's 123. So I'm just going to right click on this and just click on auto detect. And it's not quite getting it, but I believe this is at 138, which would mean it would be exactly 9 beats. So it's eight beats plus an extra beat at the end for some extra stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hit accept and do it like this, and sure enough, once again, we see this particular piece. So it is now chopped it up into 32 pieces, and it's gotten all the hits. So all we need to do is click on this button, dump score to piano roll, and what it's now done here in the piano roll for this pattern is it's actually created the loop that would play this drum kit basically. So if I go ahead and pattern this, that's what it's done. Now, of course, we can just put this, kind of paint it over here. Let's go ahead and listen. And let me go ahead and just add this to the mixer so we can, adjust it. Now, the benefit of doing it this way is not so you can do this, because you can do this, with whatever. This doesn't help. But now we can start kind of rearranging this loop and making it a little bit unique. So the first thing I want to do is I don't like these claps, because I already have a clap in here. If you notice, I have a clap here. So I don't need two claps. So one of the things we can do is just take these two notes and drag them to something else. So what we can basically do is, I just kind of like finding some spots here. So that's gonna be on every 2 and 4 beat, like this. Like this, and of course you can play with the velocities too, and you can do all sorts of other things. Like you can take some of these notes and take this, for instance, and I can chop it. So just kind of having some fun with it, and we've placed it across. And notice how we've basically taken this and we've, with this it's pretty simple, but you can go ahead and adjust the velocity. So sometimes there's an open hat, like sometimes I may want to duck room for my open hat. Oops, I'd be here. So if I play this with my open hat, you don't always have to take it out completely, but it can help to take it out enough that you can hear the rest of the stuff. So let me hear this with some of my other percussion. So I like ducking this note down a little bit. I just find that it can be a little overpowering with that open hat playing. And of course, from here, you could do all your standard processing, just adding sidechain compression and stuff. But this is an easy way, rather than dragging your loop in and time stretching it. Not only are you chopping the loop, which actually works better tonally than trying to time stretch these drum samples, but you're actually able to chop it up and do something unique rather than just using the loop outright. So this is a nice middle ground from having to do everything from scratch, but you're not just using all of these pre-made loops. You're kind of changing them and making them your own, and hopefully using a little bit of creativity. You can see there are other places here in the track that I've chopped up this other loop. Here's another example. Just kind of having some fun with these different percussion loops, and just be creative, do something fun and unique, and hopefully you've learned something and gotten some out of this. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.